Hi and welcome to the BSSS e-content video platform. My name is Piyush Pradhan and I'm from the Department of English. Today's session will be based on the use of quantifiers. Most of my audiences might be a bit confused that what exactly is a quantifier. We have never actually heard or learned anything about it. So I want to make it clear to all my audiences that quantifiers are actually the part of determiners only. But the way how a quantifier is differentiated from determiner is purely based on the way how the quantifiers clearly indicates the diverse form of rules, including the regulations. Determiners are something which you can even sometimes, without even thinking much, can place them to complete any situation. But in the case of quantifiers, we have to be extra careful. Now, what exactly is a quantifier? Let us just understand through this definition. A quantifier, as the word clearly indicates itself, that's something that consists of quantity or an amount of a particular thing. There are differences still to mark the understanding of a quantifier when, as I said, compared with that of a determiner. What is the need of taking a quantifier? Because there are certain situations in English language where some of the statements particularly demand only the consideration of quantifier and not a determiner. That is why it becomes essential to have them for our immediate use. How do we consider a quantifier? We consider a quantifier by the way how it expresses either a part of or all of something. So what I'm trying to explain you here is that whenever we have a defined quantity, we have to see how we are expressing it, either as a part of or all of. Let us just understand through these sample examples. I have actually bifurcated these examples in a form of two different ways, part of and all of. Part of. Let's understand with this statement. It hailstorms most of the days in this town. Concentrate on the section most of the days. Now the statement with all of. It snows all day long from September till first week of November over here. Now we are talking about a huge duration, a lengthy duration. That is why I'm considering everything as all, total in form. Another situation with part of. There's a part of my heart that cries for my loss of big fat black cat yesterday. Now, we are talking about a feeling, a grieving feeling where you are grieving for the loss of your cat. So it's not going to last long. It will be just for that day, for that hour. Let us just work on all of the subtle feelings of a husband crushes when the wife tends to say no more to the 15 years old marriage. So I hope when you concentrate on some of the features like most of the days, all day long, some part of, or the complete part of. These are some of the features by which we can understand these two different varieties, the varieties of part of and all of for any situation. We'll be now talking about another feature of the use of quantifier, in which a quantifier will be expressing a small or large quantity. Look at the first statement of small quantity. I have got few sugar cubes in my teacup while sitting in a hotel. What should be the statement with the large quantity? I have got many scarves to match and wear with multiple shirt colors I use while I enjoy market with my family. So I hope you understood how we have talked about the small quantity and large quantity feature. In the sentence itself, when you shall concentrate, you'll find that group of one or two words automatically will talk about small quantity and large quantity. The other two examples on your screen is for your own reference. Now the other examples of quantifiers. In this, we'll be looking at simple quantifiers and complex quantifiers. What is a simple quantifier? They are the one that takes simple word in order to define a situation. How that situation can be taken? Well, it can be taken through these examples. Examples with a list of words as each, either, another, fewer, little, less, neither, several, some, many, etc. Hope you have understood simple quantifier. We'll be now talking about complex quantifiers. A complexity in this quantifier is specified by the use of a phrase it involves in. So in order to understand a complex statement of the quantifier, we always have to include a phrase. But that includes a very different list, very different from the use of simple quantifiers. The examples are lots, a great deal of, a good deal of, a little, the little, a few, fewer, etc. Now we have reached to an extremely crucial phase of the use of quantifiers. In this part of the slide, we'll be looking at the way how quantifiers are positioned. A quantifier at the beginning of a noun phrase can be taken in three different diverse varieties. First, it can be taken with noun, quantifier plus noun. An example can be few people. In the second, we can take the quantifier along with adjective, quantifier plus adjective plus noun, and its example will be many new cars. In order to position the quantifier for a complex structure, we can include one more item in it. Thereby, it will be taken as quantifier plus adverb plus adjective plus noun. Adverb is something that helps to modify a verb. So, of course, its example will also be a bit lengthy. Thereby, its example is a good deal of. For example, right now, I have used this example of a good deal of agreements, a great deal of people. This will be the way how you can use it for academic writing. Now, quantifier used without noun as pronouns. These are certain list of 5 different examples, and I want each of my audience to pay attention. Try to understand these situations very, very carefully, because any doubt with the use of noun and pronoun to understand the position of a quantifier is going to risk your statement, especially if you are dealing with some advanced feature of English tests. We have now reached to the stage where we'll be discussing about the use of formal and informal quantifiers. Now, how they are being used. Simply by changing a quantifier sometimes, a sentence can be changed to formal or informal use of it. For my audiences, I have used 3 different criteria. In fact, I have used 2 hints, and by the help of these hints, I was able to make 2 different kind of situations, one with informal and another with formal. Let's take the first hint and we'll be able to make out the understanding of our formal and informal criterion. The first statement, a lot of people arrived late for the party. Now this entire statement sounds informal. How can the same statement be changed into formal? Let us just see. Several individuals were invited to the wedding party 2 days ago. What you have noticed in this second translation of the statement is that not only that this statement was lengthy, but at the same time you find that everything that we tried to merge together was very much accurate and with balanced use. We were not just directly saying anything that came into our mind, but rather when we transformed the sentence, we knew that we should not have missed with any use of prepositions, with proper use of tenses or anything of that kind. Otherwise, this quantifier statement would not have been possible. Let's push along to the another two hints we have with us. I've got two hints of exam and progress. Let's work on that. The twin brothers didn't make much progress in their Cambridge exams. Again, this statement was quite informal or natural, because we don't balance the things before we speak. But the moment we are going to change the same into formal, we have to think before we speak. How it can be converted? Let's see. They made little progress in tough Cambridge exam held at the community hall of the town. This was purely in the formal way. Same as I have the situation down below in which I have taken this time 3 hints instead of 2. What are they? Beach, birds, public. Let's work on these. Lots of birds in the water flock their feathers together to entice public standing by the beach sand. This informal statement changed into formal as a good number of birds floating on sea water flock their feathers in large numbers in order to attract several public members over the beach every day. Look at the lengthiest, and perhaps some of my audiences might take it as a boring way of taking up the statement. But in fact, this is how, for academic writing skills, we are totally dependent on the use of the formal statements instead of informal. Hope you have liked this part of formal and informal quantifiers. In this part of the slide, we'll be talking about the different styles of English used for quantifier statement. Let us just understand firstly with the help of an example sample. I can't see many people near here. Concentrate on the bracketed terms near here. That is why I have taken this style by using the words many people. I could not have said the same statement as many of people or many of the people. That will be wrong. If I have to in fact attach the preposition of, then the statement will be taken in this way. Let us just see how. I can't see many of my friends in hall. Again, concentrate on these 2 words of the bracket, in hall. So, depending on the situation, you have to understand how a quantifier statement changes with the use of its styles. For determiners, it's impossible for us to choose different kind of styles, but with quantifiers, it's immediately possible. Again, I have got a single situation with me, but this time I have actually taken the same situation and converted into 3 different categories. Let's work on that. The statement says, many houses were destroyed in England in the war. How can we take a proper quantifier in it? Well, we could have taken the quantifier as several of. Several of the houses during intensive war in England were destroyed totally. Further, to continue with the translation, we can say as a great deal of houses were found destroyed at the time of war in England. And lastly, a very beautiful use of quantifier. Again, you'll find a major change in the style we have used in here. This time I have used a significant amount of. In a normal context, when we have a normal conversation with our loved ones, we don't include quantifiers of such intensity. But I want all of my audiences to start trying it from today. That will help boost up your way of styling yourself with English language. So the completion of the statement with this quantifier is, a significant amount of houses were found to be entirely destroyed due to war in England. The rest of the examples are there on your screen, and I hope you'll be able to understand through different features of it. Please focus on the underlined use of these quantifiers. Now I'm reaching onto a stage where I'll be focusing on a bit advanced use of the quantifier. Over here on top, as you can see in double inverted commas, I have used the statement as more than one but less than a lot. Please be extremely careful when you use the rule of such kind of quantifier phrases. For your help, I have come up with 6 in fact features through which we can understand these examples. The list of these examples are with books, cartons, rice sacks, cars, pencils and mobile chargers. I know and I admit that I have used a lengthy 2 or 3 lines even for the completion of such statements with each word list item. But what I'm trying to explain you is that if I had not used these 2 and 3 lengthy complex statements, I would not have come to my conclusion, because I want to complete my picture of this phrase of the top, more than one but less than a lot. So please try to focus on these sample examples and you'll immediately able to understand how we have completed this phrase. On this part of the slide, we are now into use of okay and not okay sentences. This I found to be the most easiest way to explain my audiences about how a quantifier can be considered. Let's work on firstly over a few not okay sentences, and we are going to change them into okay sentences. I've tried to cut the entire statement for your ease so that you may understand immediately why we should not speak such sentences, whether verbally or whether in a form of a written context. Let us begin. Some of people are right some of time, but all of people cannot be right all of time. Now your brain immediately will be so much confused as, what have I spoken? This is not the way how an English statement should be spoken. So sometimes your brain itself is in a condition or in a position where it can assess where we are committing a mistake. So quantifier is actually that stage of our brain which will immediately make us to stop and work on how to correct it. So what should be the okay sentence of this not okay sentence? Well, some of the people are right some of the time, but all of the people cannot be right all of the time. What I have tried here is to concentrate on the article the or the. I have used it 3 times to 4 times to complete up my picture. Until you attach this article, this proper noun, you won't be able to understand the situation of okay sentence. Let's work on the other remaining features. Not okay sentence. I'd like a few of apples in my basket, please. Again, something must stop you from speaking such statements. How can we change into okay sentence? I'd like a few of these apples in my basket, please. So I have attached the article a. Can we change into third form as well? Yes, we can. How it is done? Well, this is the way. I'd like a few of your apples in my basket, please. So what I'm trying to explain you over here is that sometimes some of the words can be taken by you as per your own choice, and you can attach it without any inconvenience. So if you are taking the features like your, own, my, It's not going to make any difference as long as that 3 and 4 word construction is proper, it's balanced, is appropriate to complete the statement. And we, of course, have got the other examples of not okay and okay sentences. I hope my audiences will be able to figure out how to understand the features of it. The advanced use of quantifiers are also based on the use of story event version. Let's work on some of the events in each story version, where with the help of some example statements, we'll be able to figure out how we can use the advanced use of such statements. Look at the first story version. Some of the ducks crossed the river. When we have tried to change it, we have tried to attach some of the quantifiers in order to complete our picture. How it is done? Let us just see. Every duck didn't cross the river. Not all the ducks crossed river. Only some of the ducks crossed the river. And some of the ducks crossed while others didn't. I hope you have understood through this example statement. The second feature of this story version, none of the ducks crossed the river. I have this time used a negative version. How can we change it into an example statement? Well, these are the 3 ways. Hardly any duck crossed the river. Nobody crossed. The ducks didn't cross. So what I want my audiences to note is that there can be an ambiguous or indistinct target items that can be listed first in each story version. And that is for the students who are preparing for advanced use of English language, especially the English literature students or English honors students. I wish all of my audiences have truly liked this part of my quantifiers, and I'll be more than happy to help you in the immediate future. Thank you so much for your presence.